Good to have you with us at this hour. I'm Daniel Choy. Let's start our newscast for this Sunday evening. It's one final tug of war between Korea and Japan as they attempt to reach a compromise on Tokyo's bid to list controversial wartime facilities as World Heritage Sites. The decision will be made shortly by the World Heritage Committee in Bonn, Germany. Our Hwang Sung-hee starts us off.
Korea and Japan are holding one last round of negotiations before a final decision is reached on whether Tokyo's wartime industrial facilities will be listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The World Heritage Committee was expected to decide on Japan's bid on Saturday, but postponed the meeting by a day to give the two neighbors more time to settle their dispute. The 21-member committee, including Korea and Japan, is holding its 39th session in Bonn, Germany.
We were told to notify that the review was postponed to 3 p.m. July 6th.
Japan's 23 industrial sites include 7 coal mines and shipyards, where nearly 60,000 Koreans were forced into labor during World War II. Seoul is demanding that Tokyo clearly state that these sites were related to its wartime atrocities. The two countries have been locked in negotiations for months. If they're unable to find a compromise by Sunday, the issue will be put to a vote. The 19 other member states are urging Seoul and Tokyo to reach a deal. The result of Sunday's talks is expected to set the tone for Seoul-Tokyo ties down the road. This comes amid efforts by the two neighbors to break the ice in time for the 50th anniversary of the normalization of their diplomatic relations this year. Hwang Sung-hee, Arirang News.
We turn our focus to the latest on Korea's MERS situation now. A new MERS case was reported on Sunday, bringing the total number of people diagnosed with the disease to 186. A 50-year-old woman may have contracted it from her husband, who was infected with the virus while staying at Samsung Medical Center on May 27th and 28th. According to the health ministry, he tested positive for the disease on June 12th, but was released from the hospital on Friday. Of the 186 people diagnosed with the disease so far, 37 remain hospitalized and 12 are in critical condition. The MERS death toll remains at 33, unchanged since Tuesday, and the fatality rate remains at around 18%. On a more positive note, 116 people have been discharged from the hospital following full recoveries. After a week that saw Greece close its banks and impose limits on cash withdrawals, Greek citizens are going to the polls to vote in a historic referendum on the question of whether to accept or reject the terms of an international bailout package set by its creditors. Polls open on Sunday at 7 a.m. and will stay open until 7 p.m. local time. Therefore, what is expected to be a tight race that in any case will change Greece's future. Our Hwang Sung-hee gives us the details.
The answer is nay or ohi, yes or no. The question, do you approve of the conditions being set by our creditors, namely the European Union, the European Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund? Voting yes means they are willing to accept a series of austerity measures in exchange for rescue loans. But Greece's government is urging people to vote no, saying that a yes vote would have a disastrous effect on the ailing economy, while a no vote would force their creditors to come up with new bailout terms.
I hope the IMF just get out of here. I am strongly voting no.
I hope the Greek people will be clever enough to vote yes today. Tsipras has destroyed Greece in just 5 months.
Many people can ignore the will of a government. No one can ignore the will of the people to live with determination and take their lives into their own hands.
Greece missed an IMF loan payment deadline last week, a first for an industrialized country. Its next deadline is on July 20th, when its loan from the European Central Bank comes due. If Athens defaults again, Greece may have no choice but to leave the Eurozone, which no country has done since its creation in 1999. The Greek government has racked up a total debt of 323 billion euros or 360 billion US dollars, excluding private bank and individual debt. 60% of the total is owed to Eurozone countries, with the bulk of it being held by Germany. In the last 6 years, Greece's GDP has shrunk by around 25% and unemployment is at staggering highs. Early opinion polls have showed that citizens are evenly divided, though most have said they want to keep the euro. It's expected to be a hard decision for the Greek people, as the future of the country and its economy hangs in the balance. Kwon So-ah, Arirang News.
Some tech news now. Korea's Samsung Electronics has been named the most reputable technology firm in the United States. According to U.S.-based research firm Reputation Institute, Samsung made a big leap from last year when the tech giant ranked 8th. This year, big names like HP, Microsoft, and Google were also in the top 10. Samsung's arch-rival Apple, however, only made it to the 21st spot, dropping 2 slots from last year. The institute ranks more than 25 companies based on a survey with around 50,000 U.S. citizens, rating a firm's products, services, innovation, working environment, governance, leadership, and management. North Korea has slammed South Korea for a recent report on its human rights record. The North state-run Norong Shinmun newspaper said Sunday that the white paper, released earlier this month, is a, quote, heinous provocation, and that Pyongyang's stance is that it will exact merciless punishment on those who criticize the regime and its dignity. Earlier this week, the South's state-run Korea Institute for National Unification reported that North Korea publicly executed almost 1,400 people between the year 2000 and 2014. The North also denounced the recent opening of a UN Human Rights Office in Seoul and the South's warnings of harsher sanctions against the communist state. And over in Istanbul, Turkey, Turkish nationalists protesting China's treatment of Uyghur Muslims attacked a group of Korean tourists, mistaking them for Chinese nationals. AFP reported Saturday that hundreds of angry protesters marched towards the landmark Topkapi Palace carrying flags representing the Uyghurs' homeland. The Korean tourists were attacked outside the palace before they were rescued by riot police. Turkey shares linguistic and religious links with the Uyghurs, who have several community groups in the predominantly Muslim country. Hundreds of thousands of Americans brave tight security to celebrate their nation's 239th birthday on July 4th with fireworks, music, and parades. There were 11 checkpoints along New York City's East River for people seeking to watch Macy's 4th of July fireworks display, which featured more than 50,000 shells. Speaking minutes before the fireworks lit up the night sky over the National Mall, President Barack Obama said, U.S. service members make it possible to enjoy the incredible blessings in the United States. Team Korea bagged 2 gold medals in Judo at the Summer Universiade taking place in the southwestern city of Gwangju, bringing the gold medal tally to 4 after 2 days of competition. Kim Sung-yeon struck gold first in the women's under 70 kilogram event, beating Kazuki Osanai of Japan. Korea had finalists in all 4 weight classes for women, including Park Ji-yoon, who settled for silver in the under 63 kilogram. The second judo gold came from Kwak Dong-han, who beat Russia's Kozan Kalmuzayev in the men's under 90 kilogram event with a spectacular shoulder throw, avenging compatriot Wang Gi-chun's loss to Kozan's brother Kasan in the under 81 kilogram finals. Staying on the topic of sports, Team Korea's goal for this Universiade, 25 goals and a 3rd place finish. On day 3, Korea is second in the medal rankings with 4 gold medals. Our Kim Hyun-bin brings us this report on Korea's prospects from Gwangju.
Games have begun for the 2015 Gwangju Summer Universiade. Some 13,000 athletes from 149 countries are here to compete for the 272 gold medals up for grabs. Team Korea has sent its largest delegation ever, with 516 athletes and officials, partaking in all 21 sporting categories.
With the country's support and that of local residents, we'll do our utmost to win as much as we can.
Unfortunately for Korea, the nation's reigning Olympic champion gymnast Yang Hak-sun had to withdraw from the Universiade through injury over the weekend after he pulled out of the floor exercise during the men's team event. Yang has been struggling with the same hamstring injury, which caused him to settle for silver at last year's Asian Games. Korea has done fairly well in past Universiades, coming third overall in 2003 and 2011, and fourth overall in the last Universiade held in the Russian city of Kazan in 2013. With the home crowd behind them, Team Korea is aiming to win 25 gold medals this year and seal third spot in the medal table. Team Korea must beat their arch rival Japan in the medal standings to have a chance of finishing third overall. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News, Gwangju.
Let's shift gears now. Students from around the world gathered in Jecheon in Chungcheongbuk-do province this weekend to explore and understand Korean humanities. The event, the 2015 Nunjangpan Festival, hosted by the Korean Culture and Information Service and organized by Arirang TV. 30 teams comprised of university students from 36 countries competed in the event, giving presentations on figures in Korean history, with 13 groups making it to the final round. The winning team's presentation was on the life and achievements of Hojun, a doctor during the Joseon dynasty, made even more popular due to a successful Korean TV drama. The event, now in its second year, is aimed at enhancing the spirit of Korean humanities among young people. And now for a quick look at the weather. We are in for rain showers nationwide in Korea starting Tuesday, starting with a heavy downpour in Jeju on Monday. But before the rain falls, be prepared for some scorching heat with temperatures of around 30 degrees Celsius tomorrow. Meanwhile, Typhoon Chanhom is set to gain strength after weakening significantly before the weekend, so be sure to be prepared for that. And now let's check out the weather conditions outside of Korea, around the world. That's all from us for now. Thank you so much for watching. Here's wishing you a great start to your new week.